Hello, welcome everybody. For this week's assignment, you guys are going to be learning how to control the different values of the colors of the color wheel. Okay, so using your soft pastels, you are going to create what's called a value scale. You've already created a value scale using pencils and trying to control value with different types of mark making. Now you're going to be practicing how to control value with light and darkness for each of the 6 colors of the color wheel and a brown scale. Okay, so here's my first example here is the color blue. The true blue, right, is in the very center. Each scale should have 7 steps to it. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? The box that's in the middle is simply the color of the pastel. So the next color I'm going to do is green. So I'm going to grab my green pastel, make sure that it's clean. I like to keep a little kind of a piece of paper on the side that I can kind of use this to kind of clean my pastel when I've been using it for a while, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the green in the very center, okay? So I'm trying to use a tight silhouette mark. I want to create something that has good a good craftsmanship. So I want to try to fill in all of the white spaces, and I wanted to make it as solid as possible. Using a quick breath to get rid of any excess, right? And making sure that I'm trying to use, again, my mark making techniques to make as solid a green as possible. Okay, so that's my true green, right? But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the light side of the scale and the dark side of the scale. To do the light side of the scale, you are going to need white, right? So the next block up, I want to make it a green that is visibly lighter than the first green. So I'm going to very lightly kind of like shade in green over here. I don't want to put a lot of pastel because I want to make it lighter, right? And then I'm going to use my white to blend the green together to make a lighter shade. So again, I'm trying to pick up the dust that I already have on the paper, and I'm trying to make it as even a color as possible, right? And I'm making a lighter shade of green. Now, I think that's too light. I need this green to be all the way up here. I need to make that darker. So the way that I make that darker is by adding more green. So again, lightly adding the green on here so that I am trying to darken this up and then just kind of blending this together with my white, trying to make as even a shade as possible and trying to learn how to control this new medium of soft pastel, right? So now if this is how light this green is, and I still think I can probably make it a little bit darker. Hold on, let me try to do this the right way for you guys. Okay, so using a very, very, very tight overlapping mark, I'm gonna make this a little bit darker just so that it's lighter than this one, but it's not super light. I want the one on the very top to be super light, okay? So they should look like they're going in order, okay? So the next one up, again, I'm gonna start with a little bit of green, okay, even less green than the last one, right? And then using my white, massaging the color back in there, so that the green here is lighter than the green below it. So that is a lighter green. And then over here, I'm gonna put such a light green that that it looks almost white. But here I'm gonna put even less green on the paper using my clean white. I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna pick up that green, and I'm gonna make such a pale green that it almost looks white. Trying to fill that in. Blowing away any excess This might be hard to do with COVID in the classroom, but whatever. So that each green is a visible different shade, okay? I think that I could probably make this one a little greener over the white. So I'm just gonna add that in there, right? Because I want that to look different. And I want to make sure that each shade of green, it gets gradually darker till I get the true green. Now, I'm going to do the darker side of the scale. Now, when you're doing the darker side of the scale, you're going to be adding black. Okay? So in this particular drawing, right, you never want a mixture to have both white and black in it. White and black are the two strongest colors that exist that you use to manipulate all the other colors. And if you have a mixture that has white and black in it, the color, instead of looking just darker, it's going to turn gray, right? So you never want the light side of your scale to mix with the colors on the dark side of your scale. So grabbing my little cleaning piece of paper that I have rolled up over here, right? I'm gonna clean my green, make sure that there's no white left on it. And I'm gonna make sure that my black is also pretty clean. Okay, because if it's dirty, it's gonna contaminate the colors. So I'm gonna start with the next one down. Okay, so this one I just want it to be a little bit darker. So I'm gonna start with green. I'm gonna give a base of green. Again, the first time I go around, I'm a little loose and I'm a little, a little kind of free with the color, right? Now I'm just gonna put a very light amount of black. You don't wanna put too much because if you put too much, it'll get too dark too fast, okay? So now, using the green again, I am going to now take all of this color, all of this pigment that I have on the paper, and I'm going to use my tight silhouette mark to mix all those colors on the paper and create a nice, solid, darker green. Okay, so you can see that that green is darker than the true green that's on top of it. Now I have to take it a step further. That step further, again, I'm going to start with green again, right? Now I want to put a little bit more black, and this you're going to learn how to control your color. So I'm going to put a little bit more black than I did on the one on top of that, and then using my clean green, I'm going to use my tight silhouette mark, and because I have more black in this mixture, that should be a darker shade. If it's not dark enough, you can always add more black. If you want to lighten it, you add more green. So these two are almost the same. This is not dark enough, okay? So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm not going to go crazy, because I want to be able to control it. I want you work little by little, and then grabbing those pigments that are there, right? Making the next one down a visible, different shade of green so that it looks darker than the one on top of it, okay? Cleaning this off. I noticed that this one's a little messy. I'm gonna come back in here and I'm gonna add a little bit more green over here. Okay. So then your last one should be hunter green. Like here, at the last one of the blues, I have a nice dark midnight blue, right? Almost black, but it's actually just a very dark blue. This one should be a hunter green. So I am going to actually start with black instead of green. I'm gonna put a decent amount of black in my little square, right? And then I'm going to take that black and I am going to use my tight silhouette mark with my green, and I'm going to try to make as solid a hunter green as possible. Okay, again, the last one in the row should be the darkest one in the scale. They should go in order. Okay, now I'm going to go into a time lapse, right? Where I'm going to go through all of the colors and what they should look like. Again, you're going to be doing the 6 colors of the color wheel, the 3 primary and 3 secondary colors, And you're going to be doing a brown and gray scale. So you should have 8 different scales in total. So this is what the finished assignment should look like. Again, this is the first steps into learning how to draw using chiaroscuro in color, being able to make the light colors and the darkest shades of each color, right? So in blue, we have baby sky blue and midnight blue. We have pale green and hunter green, right? We have pale peach and we have burnt orange over here. We have very pale baby pink and burgundy, right? Lilac and deep midnight purple, right? And then all the different shades of brown, okay? So this is what you should be working on this week and turning in on teams. Have a good day.